Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Harsh Anandani, and today I'll be solving two questions. So let's start with the first question. Question number one. So, in the first question, we are given this is a question on permutation combination. So, we are given this ratio NCR plus 5 times NCR plus 1 plus 10 times NCR plus 2 plus 10 times NCR plus 3 plus 5 times NCR plus 4 plus NCR plus 5 divided by the denominator is NCR plus 4 times NCR plus 1 plus 6 times NCR plus 2 plus 4 times NCR plus 3 4 times NCR plus 3 plus NCR plus 4. So this fraction is given to us as n plus k divided by r plus k. N plus k divided by r plus k. And we are supposed to find the value of k. Okay, we are supposed to find the value of k. So k is the question mark. Okay. So let's come to the solution part. So in the solution part, for the purpose of simplicity, what we will do here is first let me write down the solution. Yes. So this is the solution. So for the purpose of simplicity, what we will do is we will assume r is equal to 0 and n is equal to 5, because in that case our task becomes easier and the question reduces to a very simple form. Okay. So if we substitute r is equal to 0 and n is equal to 5, we can rewrite the expression here as 5c0 plus 5 times 5c1 plus 10 times 5c2 plus 10 times 5c3 plus 5 times 5c4 plus 5c5. Okay. So divided by, if we divide this part by the denominator, in the denominator substituting n is equal to 5 and r is equal to 0, we will get 5c0 plus 4 times 5c1 plus 6 times 5c2 plus 4 times 5c3 plus 5c4. Okay. So this is equal to n plus k upon r plus k. And now if we substitute n is equal to 5, so in the numerator we will have 5 plus k. And in the denominator substituting r is equal to 0, so 0 plus k, which means 5 plus k upon k. Okay. So now if we cross multiply and then solve this equation, 5c0 will become 1, then 5 into 5c1. So 5c1 is 5. So 5 into 5 is 25. Okay. Then 5c2 is 5 into 4 by 2, which means 10. So 5c2 is 10. 10 into 10 means 100. So 100 plus 5c3 is again 5c2, which is 10. So 10 into 10 is again 100. 100 plus 5c4 is again 5c1, which is 5. So 5 into 5, it becomes 25. And then 5c5 is same as 5c0, which is 1. So we get this expression. If we cross multiply, we have to multiply this by k. And so k comes here and we multiply this by k. And then this expression will be 5c0 is 1. Then 4 into 5c1. 5c1 is 5. 4 into 5 is 20. Plus 6 into 5c2. 5c2 is 10. 10 into 6 will become 60. So 60. Then 4 into 5c3. 5c3 is same as 5c2, which is 10. So 10 into 4 is 40. And then 5c4 is same as 5c1, which is 5. Okay. So this is equal to 5. And this we have to multiply with this term, which is 5 plus k. This we have to multiply with this term, which is 5 plus k. So now if we simplify, 100 and 100 is 200. 25, 25 is 50. So this becomes 250 and then plus 2. So 252 multiplied with k, and this is equal to 60 and 40 is 100, 120 is 120, 120 plus 5, 125 and plus 1. So 126 into 5 plus k. 126 into 5 plus k. Okay, so if we simplify this expression, 252 is nothing but double of 152, 126. Okay, so if we cancel this term, we will get 2 here, because 126 multiplied by 2 is 252. So therefore, on simplification, we get the term 2k is equal to 5 plus k. And now if k goes to the left hand side, 2k minus k will become k, and therefore k is equal to 5. So the final answer for this question is k is equal to 5. Okay. So I hope this answered your question, and it clearly explained the concepts which were required to solving this question. Okay. So let me clear this part, and let's move to the second question. Okay. So let's move to the second question, which is question number 2. Question number 2. So now if we come to this question, this is basically a question on summation of series, which means it comes inside the chapter sequences and series. Okay, so let me just write the question first. There are two variables involved here, k and n. So sigma k equal to 1 to infinity. This is the outer summation. And then we have the inner summation, sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity. Sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity, and this you can write as k divided by 2 raised to power n plus k. Okay, sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity, this is the outer summation. Then sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity, this is the inner summation, and then k upon 2 raised to n plus k. Okay, so let me just start the solution part. Okay, as I already told you, this comes inside the chapter sequences and series, so I will explain it. Okay, so in the if we focus on the inside summation, we can see that in the inside summation the running variable is n. Okay, therefore for the inside summation, k behaves as a constant, right? So if we write this expression, sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity, and then sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity, we can treat k as a constant here, because first our focus is to solve the inside summation. So if we write this expression as k upon 2 raised to k into 2 raised to n. Okay, so sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity. Now k upon 2 raised to a k is constant. So you can take that outside this summation, right? Because k is behaving as a constant for this summation, so you can take it out. So if we take it out, k upon 2 raised to k, and now you can write the inside summation, sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity, and this is 1 upon 2 raised to 1 n. Okay, so if we write this again, sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity, k upon 2 raised to k. And now if I write this, if I expand this series, first of all, the first term will come when we substitute n is equal to 1, because the starting value for n is 1, right? So if we substitute the value of n as 1 here, so this becomes 1 upon 2 raised to 1, which is half. Now if we substitute n is equal to 2, so this will become 1 upon 2 square, which is 1 by 4. Now if we substitute n is equal to 3, this is 1 upon 2 cube, so 1 by 8, and up till infinity, which means it goes up to infinity, so infinite terms. Okay, so if we focus here, this series is behaving as a GP, whose first term is half and common ratio is also half. Okay, and this is an infinite GP. So if we focus here, the first term here is a is equal to half, and in order to find the common ratio, we have to divide the second term by the first term, T2 by T1. So T2 second term is 1 by 4, and T1 first term is 1 by 2. So if we divide 1 by 4 upon half, we will get half. Okay, because half is double of 1 by 4. So this 2 will go on the in the numerator, and you finally will get the common ratio as r. Now we know, if I represent this as capital S. So capital S we can calculate using the formula for infinite GP, and the formula for infinite GP is a upon 1 minus r. The formula for infinite GP is a upon 1 minus r. So first term is a is equal to half, and common ratio is also half. So I can write this as half upon 1 minus half, which means half upon 1 minus half. 1 minus half is same as half, so half upon half, therefore s is equal to 1. Okay, so we get the value of s as 1, right? So I've solved this much part of the series, so I get the value of s as 1. Okay, so now let me just erase this part, because we are facing lack of space. Okay, so let me just erase this part. So basically we had this series k upon 2 raised to k into s, where k was running from 1 till infinity. This was the final sum we are trying to find, right? Sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity k upon 2 raised to k into s. Now s was basically the infinite GP, which I solved just now, half plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 up till infinity. Okay, and I applied the formula a upon 1 minus half, so half upon 1 minus half. Now 1 minus half is half only, so half upon half, so this cancels out and we get the value of s is 1. Okay, so now if you substitute the value of s is equal to 1 here, we are left with the part k upon 2 raised to k, where summation sigma goes from k is equal to 1 to infinity. Summation sigma is running from k is equal to 1 to infinity. So now if we start substituting the values, if we substitute k is equal to 1, so we get 1 upon 2 raised to 1, which means half. If we substitute k is equal to 2, so 2 upon 2 square. If we substitute k is equal to 3, so 3 upon 2 cube. If we substitute k is equal to 4, so 4 upon 2 raised to 4. Okay, and up till infinity. So if you focus here, we can observe that in the numerators are just increasing by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically this series. If you focus only on the numerators, this is behaving as an AP. And now if you focus on the denominators, basically the powers are increasing by 1. So 2 raised to 1, 2 square, 2 cube, 2 raised to 4. So if you just focus on the denominators, this is behaving as a GP because every time the denominator is getting multiplied by 2. So 2 here, 4 here, 8 here, 16 here, and like that. So when you have a combination of AP and GP, this type of series is called as AGP, arithmetico-geometric progression. This type of series is called as AGP, which is arithmetic geometric progression. Okay, when you have a combination of AP and GP. Okay, so what is the procedure for solving this question? Okay, so what we have to do here is, let me just erase this part because again we are facing lack of space. So I need more space, right? So sum is equal to, basically I had this is half, then you multiply, then we have 2 upon 2 square, then you have 3 upon 2 cube, then you have 4 upon 2 raised to 4, and like that. Okay, up till infinity. So whenever you have this series, basically what we do, we multiply the sum by the common ratio. If you focus on the GP, the common ratio of the GP is half. Okay, so you multiply the sum by half, so half into sum. So basically, when you multiply each term of the series by half, and then you write each term one step on the right. Okay. So when you multiply this term by half, you get 1 upon 4. So write 1 upon 4 below this term. So 1 upon 2 square. Now when you multiply this by half, you get 2 upon 2 cube. So write this term below this term. So 2 upon 2. Now when you multiply this by half, you get 3 upon 2 raised to 4. So you write this below this. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is we are trying to write similar terms one below the other, because when you have 2 square here, the term which is having 2 square, this should be written below this. Then you have the term 2 cube here, then 2 cube should be written below this. So basically it helps in uh, simplifying this expression. Okay, so now if you subtract these two series, sum minus half of sum, so basically you will get half of sum. Okay, you don't have anything written here, so you can write 0, right? So half minus 0, so half minus 0 will be half. Then 2 upon 2 square minus 1 upon 2 square, so this will become 1 upon 2 square. Then 3 upon 2 cube minus 2 upon 2 cube, so 1 upon 2 cube. Then 4 upon 2 raised to 4 minus 3 upon 2 raised to 4, so 1 upon 2 raised to 4, like that. Okay, it goes up till infinity. So when we observe here, we see that this reduces to a series which is infinite GP. This reduces to a series which is infinite GP. Here we can easily observe that each term is half multiplied the first term. So when you get this term, in order to get the second term, you need to multiply half with the first term. In order to get the third term, you need to multiply half with the second term. So like that. So this series again is behaving as an infinite GP. And for infinite GP, the formula is same, a upon 1 minus r, where a is the first term, and r is the common ratio of the GP. A is the first term and r is the common ratio of the GP. So we can see here a is the first term, so the first term is half, and then 1 minus r. So how do you calculate r? R we can calculate by dividing two successive terms. So if you divide second term by the first term, you get the value r, or you can divide third term by second term. So like that. If you divide two successive terms, you will get the value of r. So here we can see the second term is 1 by 4. So 1 by 4. And first term is half. Okay, so 1 by 4 upon half, which means 1 by 4. And this 2 will go in the numerator. So 1 by 4 into 2, which means common ratio will be equal to half. So common ratio, we got the value as half. So half upon 1 minus half. Now 1 minus half is same as half only. So half and half both will be cancelled out and we get the value as 1. Okay. So this was nothing but half into sum. This value, half into sum, I got this value equal to 1, and then 2 can be cross multiplied. So if we cross multiply 2, we get the value of sum as 2 into 1, which is nothing but 2. Okay. So finally we get the answer, which is the summation of the series, what we were looking for. The final answer is 2. Okay. So I hope this answered your question and clearly explained the concepts which were involved in solving this question. Okay. First of all, first question was based on the permutation and combination topic, and the second question was based on the sequences and series. So thank you very much and have a nice day. Thank you.